Let's go let the horses out on their evening pasture. They're not on full grass yet. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. Let me let them out first, though. That's Asher waiting at the door. They know it's time. Hi, guys. Hi, Galago. That was Galago nickering. He's got such a good talk. Okay. Come on, boys. So I have electric gates that just holds them off. Hey, I'm not going to open it with your nose right there. Thank you. They're ready to go. So let me do this. A little snort there means they're nervous about the gates, as they should be, because they're electric. I'm going to open it, and there they go. There goes Asher. Go, boys, go. So excited. Then they happily graze. There's not a lot of action, although Galago does like to roll almost right away, and then usually one or two of them will roll right after Galago. It doesn't always happen, though. I think we're done rolling. So peaceful once they start grazing. It's like their best time of the day. Couple coughs. Okay, I'm gonna close the gate here. I just hook it up on my fence. Oops, so they don't get all tangled in it. Let's go hang out with the chickens for a minute, and we'll chat about. Well, never mind. We'll talk to the horses while we're out here. So the reason they're not out on grass 24/7. Number one, any of you who know horses know that laminitis and colic is a thing if you go on grass too quick. So in the spring I took it real slow, like I normally do. And my strategy has been 15 minutes. I start them off at 5 minutes and build them up to 15. So it's 5 minutes each day, and then once they're at 15, I'll start them off at 15 minutes twice a day, and I'll add in 15-minute increments each time. Sometimes, depending on the spring, sometimes I'll just go up in 5-minute increments up until we reach 30 minutes. Just depends on the spring and how wet it is. But there goes Asher rolling. So anyway, this year I did it at 15. I started off at 5, worked our way up to 15-minute increments, and we did that twice a day up until I got to about 6 hours, and then I let them out on 24/7. And Asher ended up having a pretty big gas colic. It took about 4 days for him to recover. And I'm always extra careful, especially with him, because he's tends to be on the fatter side. So I just don't want him to get laminitic. I've had a pony who foundered in the past. It's such a lot of work, and it's so hard on the horses. So I try really hard not to let that happen. After that happened, I took them back to like a half hour at a time once Asher was able to be on grass in our small pasture, and then I again rebuilt them up at the 15-minute mark, slowly but surely. They have not been able to go out 24/7 yet, because by the time I built them up, I had them out on grass during the day and knocked them off at night in the small pasture. Right now they're in the big pasture. But our hay was getting done, our hay from this big pasture that they're in right now. And I didn't want to put them out on 24/7 with the hay. So right now we're building back up in the bigger pasture because they ate their small pasture down so much. I didn't think they were getting much out of it. So I didn't feed, like I always left hay in their dry lot, and they were eating more hay, I think, than they're spending time in their pastures, which tells me that there just wasn't much out there for them. So, oops, I'm sorry, I'm showing you the trees. So once they were out on the big pasture about a week after they hayed, which has plenty of grass in it right now. We're just going back and building slowly back up for the summer. So usually by now, this time of year, they are out 24/7. That's not the case this year. We just have to go year by year, I guess. and do what's best for the horses. But they're still happy. They're still getting a lot of time. They're up at 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night. So I don't think I'm going to let them out 24/7 yet, even once they build up to 6 hours. I think I'm going to take it a little slower just because of Asher. These vet bills are expensive, you guys. They're so expensive, so do what you can to avoid them, and we'll just slowly build up. Once they feel comfortable, maybe in a couple weeks, they can be 24/7, we'll see. But anyway, take care of your horses. Limited grass, slowly but surely. Also, in the fall, I start weaning them off of the grass. I know it's not fall yet, but it will be pretty sooner than we think. And once temperatures drop below 40 at night, I pull them off grass. And they're back in their dry lot until things stabilize. And if they stabilize in the winter and they can safely be out on pasture without them messing it up, like if it's snowy, then I'll let them out and graze and stuff. But if it's muddy, I don't want them ruining the pastures, so they don't get that. So anyway, have a good evening. I don't know if that strategy will work for your horses. I'm not a vet, so please don't use exactly my strategies if it doesn't work for your horses. And then, full disclaimer, I am not a vet. You do what's best for your horses, especially if you have older horses or laminitic ponies or any kind of pony or donkey. They're so much more fragile on grass than some of these bigger horses, so be careful, use caution, ask your vet if you have questions. I am not a vet, I am not qualified. This is just what I've done and what has generally been working up until this year for Asher. So anyway, good luck.